know, we read and review academic philosophy here. This is Frege Pipes Up by Giulia Felappi, in the Philosophy Journal. Analysis is famous for having short papers. I am honored to have published in this journal. And as always, it's my first time reading it. I'm not endorsing it. We just see why they wrote it, like what was good, and we try to figure it out. At all costs, Mike says I'm going to lie down. Thanks for being here at all costs, Mike. I appreciate it. Turn the lights low and hit this new vape you got while you read me about pipes. Exactly. I appreciate any lurks. As always, lurk-friendly stream. I don't look at my chat list. I don't know if you're here, if you're not here. If you don't want to talk, fine by me. I mean, feel free to spam emotes. I don't care. It's cool. Stockton says, well, I don't know who is continental philosophy in here, but I am for representation. Yes, that's why we keep Barude around, for representation. Yep, I appreciate it all cost money if you're paying attention, or if you're not. Like, I'll take the proper lurks. Neon Leon came by earlier, said they were lurking. Appreciate them just stopping and saying hi. Like, a lot of times I'll go into a stream, drop an emote and leave, because I'm all about supporting my friends. I want them to keep their numbers up for unique chatters and emotes used and all sorts of stuff. So it's cool. But anyway, here we go. As always, is only a 3-page paper. Feel free to ask questions and we'll see what is going on here. During his recent discussion of whether theories of demonstrative can handle Frege's puzzle, let me just stop real fast. So Frege's puzzle, for people who don't know, this is hardcore analytic puzzle in philosophy. So you could say okay, Superman. All right, let's just do Frege puzzle real fast. Oh, God damn it, Noah. Superman. This is Superman. This is Clark Kent. All right, Superman and Clark Kent. We know they're the same person. To Lois Lane, Lois Lane doesn't know. She thinks they're two different people. So she thinks Clark Kent, Superman is strong, and then you say, well, to you, that would mean Clark Kent is strong, because you know that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person. To her, she says Superman is strong, but she does not believe Clark Kent is strong. She thinks Clark Kent is weak. So there's a difference between her sense, the idea of her sense of two different people, and the underlying objects. So that's Frege's puzzle, is how do you actually account for this in logic? Because obviously Clark Kent and Superman are the same thing, but to Lois, they seem like two people, and the logic can't be the same there, because if you say, well, Lois believes Superman is strong, Clark Kent is Superman, Lois believes Clark Kent is strong, that is a false conclusion. Okay. So that's Frege's puzzle. All right, so Martone considers the following case. So I just gave you a classic style case of Superman and Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Hey, what's up, Marmy? How you doing? Oh, dude, welcome in. What's up, Valpo? Electric Mermaid is a streamer. You might be able to see that from their purple checkmark. It's one of my favorite streamers, actually. You should go hang out with Electric Mermaid. Birthday soon. You're going to have a birthday stream. Happy birthday, Marmy. What's up, Valpo? Yeah, doing some good old analytic philosophy here. Sinn und Bedeutung, exactly. So, sense and reference. That's the paper title. Sin is the sense. So the sense is we've got two different people, but there's only one object. So my friend, you might have two different phone numbers, but you're only calling one person, and you might not know that that the two different phone numbers call one person. You might think they call different people. Again, so you could say I'm calling my buddy, and you call this number, but someone else might call a different number and not realize they're calling the same person. This is something that can happen every day. Yeah. So, yeah, go hang out with Electric Mermaid also. But yeah, so what are we doing? So this is going to be a new case in this area. The pipe case. Two plumbers come by to my house to fix a leak in a kitchen pipe. With a chisel, the first plumber opens 2 holes in the wall, exposing 2 pipe segments. He wonders whether they are the same pipe. To inform him that they are, I say that pipe is that pipe. Unbeknown to us, his chiseling made the plaster on the other side of the wall fall off, exposing the whole pipe from that side. The other plumber was on that side of the wall and was able to perceive and understand my utterance through a large window. He could see clearly that the 2 segments I pointed to belonged to the same pipe, so my utterance of that pipe is that pipe was uninformative to him. Okay, so we've got a setup where you're saying this is only one pipe, so that pipe is that pipe, and then the other person, well, they knew it from the other side. Okay, so this is the other version for the philosophy nerds in here. Hesperus is phosphorus. That was the morning star is the evening star. So the Greeks called the morning star Venus. That's the planet Venus in the sky. You could see it at 2 times during the day, in the morning and at the evening, and so it was like super bright because you'd see it early in the morning and in the evening. So it took them a while, but then they realized that it's one planet. But they didn't realize that what the bright star that they were seeing in the sky, they thought it was the morning star, and then they'd call the other one the evening star, Hesperus and Phosphorus. So Hesperus and Phosphorus. So now we've got pipe 1 and pipe 2, and then they realize it's all the same pipe. So this is the older classic example for you philosophy geeks out there. I'm sorry, Barude. The continental philosopher is like, why does this matter at all? What about philosophy does that talk about? It's very, very important. It is. It is like all of 20th century philosophy and logic. Yeah. Okay. So he reaches quite a pessimistic conclusion. This would be, no, this is good. Okay. So Martone, you got me out of my bed to say hi. Well, I'm glad I make some good content then. I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you alls over the lurk. All right, so Martone, that's the author discussing this 2 pipes example, reaches quite a pessimistic conclusion. First, he claims that it is clear that any theory of demonstratives is like pointing. So like I point at the pipes, that aims to accommodate cognitive significance so as to solve Frege's puzzle should explain the pipe case. Yeah, so if you're pointing, it'd be like those pipes are one pipe and you have to point at them. Yeah. In a Marxist sense, you like this. Okay, I'm happy you guys are happy. All right, so if you point and you're discussing this, yeah, a demonstrative should do something in this area. Second, he maintains that any explanation of the pipe case would need to rely on an implausible individualistic theory of demonstratives, according to which for each individual here in the context, the semantic value of the demonstrative utterance depends on some facts about the here, such as facts about their perceptions, so that the semantic value can vary from here to here. Okay, this is a very big sentence. I don't think it matters. You do not. It's fine. Not everything's going to be for all the people. Sockness says, I think that aspect of the work is essential to management. What? Well, yeah. You do have to understand about the pipes if you are going to be a plumber. Alright, so the author then concludes that any attempt to exploit the ingredients of the semantic machinery of demonstratives to solve Frege's puzzle seem hopeless. Okay, so the idea that you can point to, like, these things, they're arguing is like, well, what are you really pointing to? You can't point to like the 2 pipes because you're just pointing in general. It's just unclear, basically. It's going to be a bit too vague what you're pointing at to actually be able to say, you know, this and that without being more specific about which pipe you're specifically pointing to. So there's going to be a lot of work to make this make sense if you're just talking about pointing at stuff and then trying to be like, well, they're all the same thing. All right. Conservative says nothing is worth reading if it's not Tolkien paragraph length in one single sentence. Yeah. Speaking of Shane's around, you might be able to see the Cryomera stuff. I got a box from Cryomera. So there's like Cryomera art I've put up around my little room here. All right. It is surely that, yeah, and that's an art streamer that I bought some art from. Okay. It is surely the case that any theory that aims at accommodating all that is cognitively significant should explain the pipe case, but it is clear that the case that any theory of demonstrative that aimed to accommodating the cognitive significance so as to solve Frege's puzzle should explain the pipe case. Yeah, do we actually need to solve this? Let's check once again. Frege's sense and reference, Sin and Bedeutung. Thank you, Valpool. So A equals A and A equal B are obviously statements of differing cognitive value. A equals A holds a priori and according to Kant is to be labeled analytic, while statements of the form A equal B often contain very valuable extensions of our knowledge and cannot always be established a priori. And this is the point where you're saying that the two things you see in the sky are really one planet. You have different names for them, the morning star and the evening star, and once you realize it's all Venus, then it makes a whole, like, it changes the way you understand what you're looking at, and so that's the cognitive significance of what's going on there. But if you just say the morning star is the morning star, that means nothing. But if you say the morning star and the evening star are identical, that means a lot, because now all of a sudden you can start tracking the movement of the planet Venus as opposed to 2 different planets. If you say a posteriori, you're out. Okay. Hey, that was quoting Kant. That identity is that identity. Yeah, these are identities. So the part of is like the whole point of what Frege was writing was that there are different senses of the word is. Like Bill Clinton, what does the word is mean actually? What sense of it is? And so this is a straight up identity. It's not membership. So it's like you can say like, I'm a member, like Noah is human. That would mean I'm a member of the human race. That's not an identity. I'm not identical with being human. But you could say also like Noah is Noah. That would be an identity. I think that this is a ton of let statements and logic. Yeah, this is all, we're discussing logic here. Exactly. This also gets used for assignment and programming. Yeah, this is identity. This is not assignment. This is saying one thing is. It's more like a is this equal to. So like these two things are equal. Conservative says a primarily Latin and silly academic way of saying a perceived idea or notion. Barude is a PhD student in like he's almost done with his PhD. He knows exactly what is going on here. It's just he's being silly. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's like everyone. Okay, let's get this going. And all cost, I can't believe you'd say something of that nature. I know. Okay, what are the relevant A equals A and A equals B in the case of demonstratives? We need two utterances such that in the first, the same means to refer to the relevant object occurs twice, exactly as with Hesperus is Hesperus. That's what I was saying. So the morning star is the morning star. Hesperus is Hesperus, where the same means to refer to Venus is employed twice, while in the second, two different means occur exactly as with Hesperus is Phosphorus, where different means to refer to Venus are employed. So what you have here is you have two different ways of identifying things in the world. You are identifying them by different names, or you are pointing at them differently. You're pointing to the morning star over there and the evening star over there. So you have two different kinds of demonstratives or two different kinds of names. This is important. Yeah. Okay. Let us then use the that sub D to indicate a particular utterance of the that together with the demonstrative D. All right, so the one kind of pointing is linked to. Let us set aside a particularly unusual cases such that those in which multiple demonstrations occur simultaneously, like so you're doing a double point, that we're setting these weird ones aside, or in which the directing intention departs for whatever reason from the demonstration. To avoid the orthogonal problem of establishing what kind of thing is demonstrated, a color or pipe, an undetached part of a pipe, together with Martone, let's employ complex demonstratives. Alright, so we're just pointing at shit. It doesn't really matter. So Frege's puzzle seems to be generated by the following. That pipe is that pipe, and that pipe is that pipe. So we've got two different kinds of pointing. One points over here, one points over there. Okay? And so you're saying this is that one, or that one is that one. Oh, yeah. The cognitive difference between any solution of Frege's puzzle needs to accommodate the difference between 1 and 2, the one where you're pointing at the same thing twice, and the other one where you're saying this one is that one over there. And the puzzle question that needs to be answered is how is it possible for two utterances apparently identical in structure and reference to be such that only one of the two often provides subjects with something new? Yeah, so like if you're pointing at stuff, how does that actually give you extra information? Frege's puzzle is not a puzzle about how the same utterance often but not always provides subjects with something new, and it is unclear why a theory aimed at solving Frege's puzzle should explain that. It is surely that when you point at the same... so when you're pointing at two different things, it doesn't provide everybody with something new, and the second of Martone's plumbers arguably being the case of point. Yeah, so if someone already knows that those two things are the same, you're pointing at two different things, you're not informing anyone of anything. Okay, so, but if this is a puzzle, it is not Frege's puzzle, exactly in the same way that we do not have Frege's puzzle, and the fact that it expressed by the author of this piece is followed by the author's surname would provide the reviewer for this reply, reviewing anonymously with something new, but would not provide me with something new. Why would a theory of demonstratives need to explain this? Yeah, so you need to explain what people who don't know something. You have to only explain things to people who don't know what's going on already. This is a mouthful. Any theory that aims at accommodating all that is cognitively significant will indeed need to explain Martone's case, and the explanation will plausibly be individualistic, as it will take into account the differences in perception of the two plumbers. But a theory of demonstratives that aims at solving Frege's puzzle does not need to explain all cognitive differences. For example, it does not need to explain why my utterance of "after that claim Frege piped up" led only one of my friends to learn of the existence of "to pipe up." Okay, so someone didn't understand the phrase. Whatever. As it does not seem to explain Martone's case either, such a case seems unable to shatter our hope of getting a solution to Frege's puzzle by exploiting the ingredients of semantic machinery of demonstratives. Okay. I understood what was going on there. Do any of you? I don't know if I was able to actually explain this. But basically they're saying, look, pointing isn't going to get you to explain what's going on in people's heads. Just because you can point at something, and you can point at multiple things, it really has to do with what people's different perspectives on the world and the way they identify things in the world. It's not the theory of us pointing at it that is cognitively significant. It's that we all have different perspectives, and that's what Frege's puzzle is about. When do we actually learn something? And it doesn't have to do with the way we identify stuff by pointing at it using a demonstrative. But anyway, what we do here is we now rate the paper. So anyone new, feel free. Use one of the emotes you can see below me here in chat. These are Better TTV emotes, most of them. And so you can, if you have Better TTV installed, you will see these emotes in your chat. And here's what they mean. So, if this was fun and made your brain dance, give it a brain dance. Yes, spelling and capitalization count. If you thought it had existential or artistic drama, give it a nog scream. Ouroboros for a nog or deeper ancient ideas. Nog knife for slicing and dicing arguments. This is a bit of an analytic thing, so I'll probably give it one of those. Nog navel gazing only for academics. This is kind of along those lines. Nog turd, all style no substance, still poop underneath. And nog grapes for big claims that shrivel up. You can also use the global vote yay and vote nay of Twitch, and also my vote meh if you thought it was a meh article. Sockdown says, I hate how they're using the word "that" in there if they are trying to be analytic in this paper. Yeah, I don't think you could see it. They had a sub D, so they were trying to use the "that" in a demonstrative way. That's a fair complaint. They could have done something else, even using the grammar and like whatever typeface available wingdings that like the journal had. Like they could have done something else. Yep, with you, Barude. This was definitely a navel-gazing paper, so we're going to give this a nog navel. I'm also going to give it a nog knife. I mean, this was an analytic argument. Conservative says it seems grammatical to me. Piped up versus to pipe up. Please ignore me. I'll go back to listening. No, if you're in chat, you are allowed to like. The point here, in some sense, Philosophy Roulette is meant to explain philosophy and get other people to participate in it. You don't have to be right. You can be wrong. You can just give me whatever sort of feedback or what you got out of it. We're not trying to be like, this is already published philosophy. They can handle a little bit of criticism. And if that is what, like, for you to say that is actually very good, because that will get, if anyone ever reads it or watches, like the authors sometimes do find our reviews of these things, because I post them to YouTube. They will see how their work is being received by other people that aren't experts in the area, and that matters to them. You're a prescriptive grammarian. I enjoy being right. Well, there you are. Yeah, my mom used to have a little sign that says, "I'm silently correcting your grammar." Sakno says, yeah, like demonstratives are dumb, not gonna lie, it is lazy. Yeah, so. All cost money, gave it a navel gazing and Oro. Chuckman thought it was fun. Haven't really thought about sense and reference with multiple minds. Yeah, that's what Frege's puzzle is about, Chocolate. And it's one of these classic problems in analytic philosophy, saying, look, we learn something when we realize that two names refer to the same object. If we didn't know that, once we learn that, like, Superman is Clark Kent, we have learned something, even though the world, nothing in the world is different. We have learned something for ourselves, and that's what the cognitive significance is. But that really does matter to us, because, like, there's, like, these celestial bodies that we thought were different stars or planets, and then we realize it's all the same thing. That really changes our view of, like, the cosmos. Yeah. You're gonna give it a nog turd? Sure. I mean, this is the reaction philosophy is gonna get sometimes. Some people didn't know about it, makes them think, they find it interesting. Other people are gonna be like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, physics unification. So that's the classic example when the ancients started to realize, or I forget who it was. Maybe the Greeks didn't actually put together that it was all Venus. But like, yeah. Conservative says, your mother sounds like a woman after your heart. Very few sentences I hear others utter now, in most cases, not even sentences, reach my brain without having been corrected or blocked. Yeah. So I have a lot of people tell me they watch my broadcast, or they don't watch it, they listen to it. And a lot of spoken language, if you write it down, you find out that it's improper grammar, or it's broken or fractured. That isn't the case for me. I'm actually using mostly good sentences. Mostly, like, I know that wasn't like exactly correct, but most of what I'm saying is pretty close. And yeah, like, I know. And people, when it's like one of my friends was telling me that can't be right, I'm like, no, it actually is. I've had people tell me. I've looked at what my transcripts say, because when I post it to YouTube, the YouTube algorithm makes an automated transcript out of it, and my sentences are actually not bad. So yeah. I mean, I am out of a logic-y sort of background. My stuff is well-formed. Thank you very much. All right, if anyone else wants to get their review in, you've got 60 seconds. But, like, yeah, it's like, as far as a little bit of analytic philosophy goes, this wasn't bad. It was a counter-argument to someone else. Clearly, people must care about this pipe case with the plumbers and the demonstratives, and pointing out that it does not succeed. I guess people think that matters. You put the brain dance because it keeps people on their toes. That's fine. That is also part of philosophy roulette, is looking how arguments are constructed. This was a fast-moving argument, and it was clear enough that if you understand what's going on, that you realize that, okay, the pointing isn't going to matter. And so that is a fair assessment of this paper, that they were able to get their ideas out in a quick and maybe accessible or not manner that makes a difference. But okay, thank you very much for